every one of you, hospitality management students. This is Ma'am Venise Ocampo, your instructor in Ergonomics and Facilities Planning for Hospitality Industry. Welcome to our class. For today's lesson, we are going to talk about Module 2.1, which is the planning and designing workstations in the lodging establishments. For the learning objectives after reading this module or after you watch this lesson video, you should be able to, number 1, discuss the concept of hotel design. Number 2, reiterate the component of a building. Number 3, discuss the types of layouts and materials used and the architectural features and plans. Number 4, enumerate the materials generally used for building construction. Now let's begin discussing the planning and designing workstations in lodging establishments. For the introduction, there is a word that is being emphasized here, the word hotel design. So hotel design involves the planning, drafting, design, and development of hotels. So to simplify the definition, hotel design is focused on the what we called visual concept, architecture, interior decoration, and of course, the aesthetic style. So, when we combine everything, planning, drafting, design, and development of hotels focus on the what we call visual concept, the architecture, interior decoration, and aesthetic style. Nowadays, designing a hotel is more focused on the modernization and contemporary and cutting edge. Ibig sabihin, yung mga design ng mga hotels ngayon, mas naging modernized, mas naging contemporary, at mas meron siyang edge or nakikipagsabayan when it comes to the different designs din ng ibang hotel within the country and outside the country. It says here that the concept of hotel design is rooted in the traditions of hospitality to travelers dating back to ancient times, and the development of many diverse types of hotel has occurred in many cultures. So even before, simple lang naman yung mga design ng mga hotel, mga inns, mga motels, but most likely ngayon, mas naging modernized na siya due to the innovation of the different architects, engineers, and of course, with the collaboration with the owners. Next slide is the components of a building. So as you can see in the picture above, this is the what we called ground floor plan, where you can visually see kung nasan dito yung main entrance, yung lobby, reception, administration, brasserie, and so on. So ibig sabihin, kapag nag-create tayo ng isang hotel design, pag nagplano tayo at nag-design tayo ng mga workstations, dapat sila is tugma. Okay? So kaya tayo may tinatawag na ground floor plan. Now let's discuss the components of a building. So pag sinabi nating components, ano ba yung mga elements na naka-involve para tayo is makagawa ng isang building? So most likely ang in charge dito is the architects, the engineers, yung mga construction workers, so sila usually yung involved sa paggawa ng isang building. So according to the definition here, building is the structure which provides us living space, shelter, and place to rest. It protects us from intruders, adverse climatic conditions, and provides privacy. Hotel is classified as a commercial building where tourists and travelers take temporary shelter in comfortable environment of their choice. So to summarize it, when we say building, this is a relatively, permanent enclosed construction. Okay? So ibig sabihin, ang isang building, kapag tinayo mo yan, hindi mo siya agad-agad masisira, hindi mo siya agad-agad madedemolish. Usually, it will take time. And most likely, ang isang building, it often has one level used for a wide variety of activities. Okay? It's either for entertainment purposes, manufacturing purposes, or even lodging accommodation, katulad ng pinag-uusapan natin ngayon. Now, what is the main components of the building? So, here are the following components of a building listed below. We have the foundation, plinth, damp-proof course, floor, walls, stair and staircase, doors, windows, ventilators, window shades, parapet, and subsidiary components of a building. So, we are going to discuss these components one by one. So, as I'm discussing, I hope you have your extra pen and paper with you so you can jot down notes to the specific information that I will going to reiterate. So, for the first component is what we call foundation. So, alam naman natin, pag tinawag na foundation, from the word itself, pundasyon, is the portion of a building structure which is built under the ground. The main function and maintenance are as follows. But before we discuss the functions and maintenance of a foundation, so we are going to elaborate the term first. So, when we say foundation, it provides, okay, provides support to the structure or provide support for the structure. So, transferring their load to layers of soil and rock that have sufficient bearing capacity. So, sinasabi natin dito, nakarely ang strength, okay, o yung tibay ng isang building sa kanyang foundation. Because basically, ang foundation, it holds the structure and keep it upright. Ibig sabihin, dapat sa isang building, pag nagawa tayo ng building, particularly to those professionals assigned here, dapat po talaga is matibay yung pundasyon ng building. It provides the building a firm hold with ground and stability to the structure, prevents from building from shifting and turning over. So, ibig sabihin, ang pag-construct ng isang building, talagang nakasaalang-alang yan sa foundation. Kasi ayaw naman natin dito, di ba, yung sinasabi na mag-shift and turn over yung isang building. At the same time, sabi dito, it distributes the load of the building structure and its content evenly on the ground, thus prevents shrinking or sinking. So, may mga times kasi tayo na hindi maganda yung lupa na pagtatayuan natin. So, kahit anong pundasyon yung ilagay natin doon, kung yung mismong lupa is, let's say, mahina siya, hindi niya kaya yung bigat ng building o yung strength ng building, ibig sabihin, yung foundation natin, mababaliwala din. So, sabi pa dito, it provides an even level of upper structure in spite of uneven ground. So, ano daw yung mga pwede nating gawing maintenance? So, sabi dito, being an underground structure all possible, precautions should be taken beforehand during the design and construction. So, ibig sabihin, as a hotel owner, as a construction worker, as an engineer or architect, you should be hands-on sa pag-implement ng mga tinatawag natin na safety precaution. Kasi ang paggawa ng isang building, hindi naman yan talaga biro. It will take months or even years bago matapos yung isang building. So, ibig sabihin, may mga taong involved habang ginagawa yung building at syempre, yung mga tao na yun, dapat they are fully protected, they are safe, they are well-informed sa mga safety precautions na dapat nilang gawin at hindi gawin during the construction process. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So, the next one component is what we call plinth. So, ano ba yung tinatawag natin na plinth? So, basically, it is the visible structural part of a building above the foundation and below the floor level is also known as a plinth. So, pag sinabi nating plinth, ang pinaka-main purpose lang naman niya is to prevent the extension or propagation of cracks from the foundation into the wall above when the foundation suffers from a settlement. So, ibig sabihin, itong si plinth, okay, tinutulungan niya yung isang building para hindi or maiwasan natin yung pag-extend ng mga cracks. Diba? Pag minsan nagpupunta tayo sa mga sa mga mall, sa iba't ibang mga, let's say, mga buildings, nakikita natin may crack na yung floor, may crack na yung pader. Okay? So, minsan nakaka-trigger or nakakatakot sa part ng mga employees. Kasi may tendency, for example, kung sobrang dami na ng crack ng mismong building kasi hindi na maintain or hindi siya na-rehabilitate or renovate, so most likely, prone siya kapag nagkaroon ng mga, let's say, adverse climatic condition, for example, earthquake. Kaya ang isang building, magugulat din kayo, madali siyang masira, lalo na kapag may mga unexpected na mga climate conditions na hindi naman talaga natin inaasahan. So, according to the local conditions, the plinth is made of a specified height above the ground. So, kung mapapansin nyo dito sa picture, ito yung pinaka-foundation, ayan. So, ito yung pinaka-foundation. Ayan. And then, sa taas ng foundation, doon nakalagay si plinth. Okay? Na tinatawag natin. So, ano-ano ba yung purpose din ni plinth? It raises the height of the floor level from the ground level. So, mas tumataas. Ibig sabihin, hindi naman pwedeng foundation lang yung nakalagay. So, may nakalagay pang isa, which is the plinth. It prevents the entry of groundwater in the house, checks easy access of insects and animals or small animals. So, ang sinasabi lang natin dito, si plinth, mas pinoprotektahan niya yung isang building, lalong-lalo na kung may mga pagbaha. Kasi hindi agad mapapasok ng tubig na yon o ng baha na yon yung building because meron nga tayong nilagay na plinth. So, it is important if the ground is not solid, stable, or dry. So, kailangan din talaga maglagay ng plinth. So, sinasabi din dito, yung maintenance, repairs of plaster as and when required. So, basically, plaster is a combination of water and of course, yung cement. Okay? So, next one is the damp-proof course. So, ano naman yung sinasabi nating damp-proof course o yung DPC na tinatawag? So, is a layer of impervious material which cuts off the capillary rise of water in the building floor and walls. It prevents dampness in the building. So, si damp-proof course or si DPC is generally applied on the basement level. Okay? So, kung makikita po natin sa picture, si DPC nandun siya sa basement level. So, it restricts the time or it restricts the movement of moisture through the walls and floors. Ibig sabihin, naiiwasan natin or nape-prevent natin yung tinatawag na moisture sa pagitan ng pader at nung mismong sahig natin o yung floor na tinatawag. So, protective layer between your property and the external ground. So, yun po si damp-proof course. Okay, next slide. So, let's go to the next slide. Next one is the floor. So, obviously speaking, alam naman po nating lahat what is a floor. So, floor or building floor is a smooth, clean, and hard leveled surface under the walls. It supports the occupant's furniture. It is used as a convenient movement area in the building. So, pag sinabi nating floor, yung ating sahig, kung ano yung tinatapakan natin or what we call the hard-leveled surface. So, hindi lang basta tao yung sinusuportahan ni floor o yung, let's say, yung kaya ni floor, but also the furniture, yung mga facilities, equipments na nilalagay natin within the establishment or building. So, what are the components of a floor? We have the base and we have the top. So, basically, pag sinabi nating base, these are the waterproof cement concrete. At pag sinabi nating top, kung ano yung ilalagay natin. Let's say, for example, maglalagay ka ng mga tiles. Ano bang klaseng desired material yung gusto mo sa floor mo? Mud ba? Brick ba? Cement, sand, mortar, or stone slab? Which later on, mais maidi-discuss natin. Ano-ano ba yung mga materials na to? So, paano daw ang maintenance when it comes to the floor building or building floor? So, the floors do wear or crack due to continuous use. So, kung mapapansin nyo siguro, pag may mga napupuntahan kayong building, even the floors, diba? May mga crack. Hindi lang basta yung walls ang pwede mag-crack, even the floor. So, kung makikita nyo minsan yung mga tiles basag-basag na, which is more, let's say, prone tayo sa danger or prone tayo sa risk kung saan baka may mga guests na maaksidente, may mga guests na let's say magkaroon ng problema, lalo na kung halimbawa may mga unexpected na incidents na mangyari sa isang establishment. So, the following actions are taking to maintain conditions of the floor. So, ano-ano daw yung mga pwede natin gawin? Usually, daily dry sweeping and wet sweeping to remove dirt and dust. So, kaya nga, di ba, sa mga malls or even before in your housekeeping procedures, tinuro na kung paano gamitin si floor polisher, paano gamitin yung mga wales, paano gamitin yung iba't ibang mga tools and equipments in order to maintain the cleanliness and of course, to maintain the, let's say, to maintain the feature of a particular building. So, ibig sabihin, yung daily dry sweeping and wet sweeping natin dito, it prevents scratching and maintains smoothness of the surface. So, if you are going to go sa NE Sulweta, I think, may mga talagang ang lakas ng evidence na yung iba nilang mga floors o yung sahig nila is puro crack na. So, ibig sabihin, medyo hindi siya safe, lalo na sa parte ng mga customers or ng mga clients. So, scheduled washing with mild soap solution to remove oil and grease, which tarnish the polish and with time harm the surface by producing acids or disintegration. So, most likely, ang in charge naman na sa paglilinis talaga is yung maintenance department o yung mga utilities. Any crack or chipping of the floor surface should be promptly attended to. So, ibig sabihin, if there is a crack in a particular floor level, okay, halimbawa sa third floor, puro crack na yung walls, puro crack na yung floor, so ibig sabihin, dapat ma-report na natin agad siya sa maintenance department para magawa na nila ng action. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. We have here the walls. So when we say walls, alam naman po nating lahat yan. Walls are a part of building structure between the floor and the roof. So we have here several materials na pwede natin gamitin para tayo is makapag-build ng walls. So first is we have the mud. So when we say mud, the clay is used to fabricate mud walls. These walls are easy and cheap in construction. So si mud, usually it is a slimy mixture of solid material with a liquid and especially water. Okay, so combination of slimy mixture of what we call solid material and yung tinatawag na liquid materials o yung water. So these walls are successfully used to construct houses in hamlets. If properly made, these walls are quite stable and can stand rains. So tandaan lang po natin when we say mud, it is a slimy mixture of solid material with a liquid or water. And usually, it is easy and cheap when it comes to the construction process. Next one is the stone blocks. So ano naman po yung stone blocks? Walls are made of unfinished or finished blocks of stone layers over one another and joined with suitable bonding materials by filling the gaps. Such walls are very strong and can last centuries. Important buildings such as forts, monuments are made of stone blocks. So when we say stone blocks, these are the pieces of natural rock formation. So kaya nga sinabi dyan, dahil galing siya sa natural rock formation, it can even use sa mga sculptures, okay? Lalong-lalo na sa paggawa ng mga buildings, sa paggawa ng mga forts or monuments. So, usually, doon natin madalas makita itong tinatawag na stone block. So, ganyan po yung itsura niya sa picture. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So, we have here also the dried mud blocks o yung tinatawag na bricks. So, dried mud blocks are both sun-baked and fire-baked are used to construct the walls. The blocks are made of standardized size and shapes. Bricks are layered one over the other and bonded with suitable mortar to make strong walls. So, ganyan po itsura ng mga bricks. So most likely, cheap lang din siya. So it is made using yung sun bake and fire bake. So pwedeng sa araw, pwedeng sa apoy, and it is really used to construct yung mga tinatawag nating wall. So meron siyang mga standard size. Okay, so depende kung ano yung preference ng mismong architect or ng mismong gagawa ng building. So alam naman po nating lahat, or I think lahat naman tayo nakakita na ng tinatawag na bricks. So ganyan po itsura niya sa picture. Next one is the reinforced brick walls. So when we say reinforced brick walls, these walls are made out of fire-baked bricks and reinforced with steel bars. Such walls are very strong. So kung makikita natin sa picture from the word itself, reinforce, ibig sabihin talagang nilagay siya dyan sa particular place na yan or sa particular area at ginamitan talaga siya ng tinatawag natin na steel bars. Unlike a dried mud blocks, it is both sun-baked and fire-baked. But itong si reinforced brick walls, ang kanya lang pong pinanggalingan or kanyang pinaggawaan is yung tinatawag na fire-baked bricks. Okay, so kung makikita nyo, very solid or what we call pulidong-pulido yung pagkakagawa kapag ang ginamit natin is yung reinforced brick walls. Okay? So let's go to the next slide. So we have here the types of walls. So we have the outer walls and of course the inner walls. So from the word itself, outer, ibig sabihin outside. So these are the walls which are exposed to the outside atmosphere. Ibig sabihin, visible siya sa labas. So yung guest, pag nasa labas na siya ng building, kitang-kita na niya yung tinatawag natin na outer walls. So these walls are also known as the load-bearing walls. Bakit siya tinawag na load-bearing walls? Because it protects the inmates of the building from adverse climatic conditions and dangers and intruders. So, ibig sabihin, kung matibay ang pagkakagawa ng outer walls, hindi yan basta-basta masisira. Lalong-lalo na kung may mga bagyo, kung may mga lindol, o kaya naman, for example, may mga terrorist attack, ganyan, may mga intruders. So, kung matibay yung pagkakagawa ng outer walls natin, ibig sabihin, hindi agad-agad siya masisira. And syempre, who knows naman kung kailan mangyayari yung mga ganong klaseng situation. Next one is the inner walls or the partition walls. So, kabaligtaran naman siya ng outer walls. So, ito naman, nandun siya sa loob ng building or the what we call interior of the building. And of course, not exposed to the outer atmosphere. These walls divide the inside of the building in proper cells for convenient use and privacy. So kung ano na yung nakikita natin sa loob ng building, pagpasok natin ng isang hotel, ng isang establishment, yun na po yung tinatawag natin na inner walls. Ibig sabihin, not exposed sa outer atmosphere. Ibig sabihin, inside the building, hindi naman inuulan. So most likely, hindi naman nababasa. Kasi nga, yung outer walls, yung mismong prone siya sa outside atmosphere o yung tinatawag natin na mga adverse outer climatic conditions. Okay, next slide. So we have also stair and staircase stairs are step-inclined plane which provide the facility to move between the different floors of the building. Okay? So, provide the facility to move between the different floors of the building. The cell or room which encloses the stairs is the staircase. So, ito yung staircase, yung nakapagitan. Yung nasa gitna, yun mismo yung tinatawag na stairs. So, from the word itself, alam naman po natin yan, hagdan. So, it provides us the way para i-move natin yung mga kailangan within the building. But at the same time, nowadays, meron naman na kasing mga escalator, may mga elevator na. So, medyo nalilesen na din yung paggamit natin ng stair and staircase. But then again, sabi ko nga, hindi talaga pwedeng mawala sa part ng isang building itong stair and staircase. Lagi talaga siyang kasama kahit na meron ng escalator or may elevator na. Next one is the doors. So, doors are the opening in the walls flush with the floor level for the entry and exit in the building or different rooms of the building. The height and width of the doors are designed for convenient use with suitable shutters. Doors are also used as a barriers for entry and exit. So, hindi naman na sa atin to iba because in a particular building, kahit saan naman tayo magpunta, meron naman talagang doors o yung pinto na tinatawag. So, syempre, depende rin yung design ng door dun sa design na pinag-usapan ni architect tsaka ni owner. So, may mga doors din naman katulad nito, yung nasa second picture, yung revolving door na tinatawag. So, umiikot siya and one person at a time ang pwedeng pumasok with a specific door. Okay, next one is the windows. So, ito alam na din natin itong lahat. Windows are suitable size openings in the walls at a suitable height from the floor. So, pag sinabi nating windows o yung mga tinatawag nating bintana, their function is to maintain air ventilation, to keep the interior atmosphere of the building fresh. So, ibig sabihin, ang isang purpose talaga or ang pinaka-main purpose talaga, bakit may windows is for us to have a proper ventilation. Aside sa iba pang mga ventilation machines na ginagamit natin. And of course, to keep the interior of the atmosphere of the building fresh. Usually, para meron din tayong natural light na nakukuha, talagang naglalagay talaga tayo ng windows. So, maya makikita nyo sa pictures, yung iba't ibang klase ng windows sa iba't ibang hotels. So, next one is the ventilators. So, these are the small openings or windows placed higher up in the wall near the roof level. They help to expel the hot, stale air of the room to the outside. So, lahat naman ng area sa isang building may ventilators talaga. Even sa bathroom, diba? Sa comfort room, sa mismong kwarto or sa mismong kwarto ni guest. So, may mga ventilator. So, ito yung itsura niya usually. Ayan, yung naka-circle. And even yung mga small windows, kasama din po siya sa ventilators. So, kaya nga, di ba sa kitchen, sobrang init sa kitchen kung walang proper ventilation talaga. Next one is the window shades. So, window shades are slab projections at the side and top of the window to restrict entry of rain and direct sunlight in the building. So, si window shades, nakakatulong din siya for us to prevent yung pagpasok ng ulan sa kwarto or pagpasok ng ulan sa mismong establishments. And of course, para din maiwasan natin or let's say, matakpan natin yung tinatawag na sunlight. So, minsan kasi may mga guests talaga na ayaw nila na, alam niyo yung sobrang liwanag ng kanilang room. That's why meron din talaga tayong tinatawag na window shades or usually yung iba naman talaga gumagamit na ng mga curtains o yung mga electronic curtains, yung mga smart technology na ngayon na mga gamit. So next one is the parapet. So parapet is the low protecting wall along with the edge of the roof of the building. So si parapet, ito po siya. Ayan, yung nakikita nyo na yan. Yung four corners na yan, yan si parapet. So, si parapet originally used to defend. So, si parapet, it is originally used to defend buildings from military attack. Usually, yun ang talagang unang purpose niya even before. To defend the building sa mga attacks from the different intruders or defenders. So, ibig sabihin, 30 inches above daw, okay? So, take note of this. 30 inches above yung suggested na height nung tinatawag nating parapet. So, roof surface and wall intersect. So, ayan siya. Kung makikita nyo sa picture. Okay. Next one. Subsidiary components of a building. So, ano naman yung tinatawag nating subsidiary? From the word itself, it means these are the additional. Okay? Additional or extra. Ito yung mga additional and extra components or elements na kailangan sa paggawa ng building. So, we have the wall and ceiling plaster. We have the floor plaster or facing and waterproofing. drains and sewers, ayan, for the waste, water supply arrangement and water piping, electric supply arrangement and electric wiring, doors and window frames and leaves. We also have open land and garden, boundary walls and main entrance gate. So, ibig sabihin, kung ano yung mga hindi na-mention kanina, yun yung mga additional o yung mga extra pa na kailangan talagang ilagay sa building or kailangan talagang i-install sa building. And usually, lahat naman to, ang in charge na talaga nun is si architect at si engineers together with their subordinates. So, next one is the types and layouts or types of layouts and materials used. So, ano ba yung sinasabi natin na facility layout? So, before we go on, we need to define ano ba si facility layout. Okay? So, according to the definition here, facility layout and design is an important component of business overall operations, both in terms of maximizing the effectiveness of the production process and meeting the needs of the employees. So, pag sinabi nating facility layout, these are the what we call arrangement. Okay? So, arrangement of different aspects of manufacturing in an appropriate manner. Ibig sabihin, yung sinasabi natin dito na facility layout, it is the arrangement of different aspects of manufacturing in an appropriate manner for us to achieve the desired results. So, ibig sabihin, ang facility layout, sabi dito, ang pinaka-basic objective niya is to ensure the smooth flow of work, material, and information through a system. Ibig sabihin, pinaplano natin, ano ba yung magiging layout ng pinaka-building? Paano natin i-maximize yung space para mas maging efficient siya? So, ano yung mga considerations na pwede nating isaalang-alang or pwede natin i-consider dito sa tinatawag na facility layout? So, number one dyan is the available space. So, take note of this. Available space, final product, safety of the workers. We also have here facility and convenience of operation. So, yun yung mga ilang considerations natin sa pag-create ng tinatawag na facility layout and design. So, the basic meaning of facility is yung tinatawag natin na space in which business activities takes place. Ibig sabihin, ang facility, ito yung particular na lugar o yung space kung saan natin i-conduct, sa natin gagawin yung mga activities, sa natin ilalagay yung mga equipments at mga materials natin na kailangan with a particular building. The layout and design of that space impact greatly how the work is done, the flow of work, materials, and information through the system. So, the key to a good facility layout and design is the integration of the needs of the people and the materials. So, as mentioned last time in the Module 1.1, that ergonomics is the integration of human factors and yung mga machines. So, ibig sabihin, dito sa Module 2.1, hindi pa rin talaga mawawala si ergonomics. Because there is a need for the integration, okay, collaboration, nung tinatawag natin na people and materials o yung mga machines. So, in such way, they create a single well-functioning system. Ibig sabihin, kapag maayos yung floor layout natin, yung facility layout natin, ibig sabihin, mas magiging efficient and productive yung ating mga employees. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. So we have here the architectural features and plans. So for a sector that thrives on showcasing visually anything under the sun to its visitor, a building of a hotel must be impressive as its interior. So sabi nga natin, minsan yung itsura pa lang ng establishments nakaka-attract na kay guests, nakaka-attract na sa mga turista. what more pa kaya yung interior design, yung loob, di ba? So, pinag-usapan natin kanina yung outer walls and interior walls. So, over the years, some building designs and construction plans have withstood the test of time and become so popular that they are emulated by many players in the industry. Now, we are going to discuss ano ba yung mga popular types of modern hotel plans. Ano ba yung mga iba't ibang construction plan na pwede natin i-implement or let's say pwede natin gawin, pwede nating isama sa ating design. So who knows, one of you will be a hotel owner someday or restaurant owner. So you can adopt these following architectural features. So we have the modular construction, slip forming, arc design, and cylinder-like structure. But first, let's start with the so-called modular construction. So this is the most recent and promising development in the construction of hotel buildings. The technique has cut down the construction time and cost as much as 40% as compared to the traditional construction methods. So si modular construction, ito yung timely ngayon. Ito yung uso ngayon when it comes to the construction of building, mga hotels. Kasi nga, itong klaseng construction na to, mas mapapadali. Kumbaga, mas mapapabilis yung paggawa ng building. Because when we say modular construction, these are the process where buildings are made up of individual sections. Yun nga yung tinatawag natin na modules. Ayan. So, kung makikita nyo to, yung binilugan ko, these are the what we called modules. Ibig sabihin, itong mga modules na to, ginagawa siya sa isang factory o yung tinatawag na factory-produced pre-engineered building units. Okay? So, ginagawa siya and then dinideliver siya sa mismong site at saka siya ina-assemble ng mga tao doon. Of course, with the use of different equipments, mga machines. So, ayan, nagiging organized siya. So, kaya siya sinabing modular construction. Okay, next one. So in this method, room units are constructed separately and hoisted into the place with the help of cranes. The procedures entails putting in a place all the necessary electrical and plumbing conduits with reinforcing steel and then pouring concrete to form the room module. So hindi naman na natin, kumbaga, i-elaborate kung paano ba yung tinatawag na modular construction. But then again, ang modular construction kasi may mga benefits ka talaga na makukuha kapag ito yung pinili mo na construction plan. So basically nakalagay dito speed of build or speed of building the hotel. So 30 to 50% na mas mapapabilis siya na gawin compare sa traditional construction methods. Eco-friendly materials. Cost-effective, kasi sabi nga natin kanina, up to 40% yung maimumura, okay? Up to 40% yung let's say, malilesen mo na gastos or expenses. So, attractive design, kasi ibig sabihin, pwede natin ma-customize to since modules yung pinag-uusapan, and flexibility of use. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang siya basta sa hotel pwedeng gawin, pwede rin sa ibang klaseng establishments. Number 2 is the slip forming. So, ano ba yung tinatawag na slip forming? So, slip form construction was first used in the 1930s. Okay? First used in the 1930s in the building and erection of grain storage silos and other similar structures. So, tandaan lang po natin, si slip forming, ginagamit talaga siya to build lighthouse and towers. Okay? So, it is a technique for rapid construction of tall concrete structures. So, si slip forming, para talaga siya sa mga tall concrete structures. Kaya kung makikita nyo, di ba, when you go to Manila, napakatataas ng mga buildings. So, most of them, ang kanyang construction plan is yung tinatawag na slip form construction. So, ano yung mga benefits na pwede nating makuha dito sa slip forming? non-stop method of construction kasi nga sabi, di ba, pwede mo pa siyang dagdagan. Pwede mo pang taasan yung building. Of course, syempre dapat, sabi ko nga, matibay yung foundation. It increases the rate of construction, reduce labor costs, and creates a safe and work environment for the workers. So kung makikita ninyo sa picture, ito po si slip form construction. Okay, next one. This technique is another recent variant involving the reinforced concrete extension in hotel construction. So nowadays, marami na talagang mga hotels ang ina-adapt yung tinatawag din nating slip forming. Kaya nga 'di ba sa Manila, yung mga hotels doon, ang tataas din, yung mga residential hotels, apartment hotels, mga condominiums, ina-adapt din talaga nila yung slip form construction. So example nga po niyan, ito yung Petersburg in Florida. So it is a 15-story hotel. Ibig sabihin may 15 floors. So ganun siya kataas. So next one is the arc design. So from the word itself, arc, ayan makikita nyo sa picture. So arc designs have 100% usable clear span space and do not have any beams, poles, and trusses. They are easy to construct, and most of the buildings are erected in just a few days. They have well-ventilated and better airflow than any other types of buildings. So we have here some pictures or examples. So ayan, sabi, it is very cost-effective and have very low cost in developing heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So the maintenance cost of this building is also very low and fire resistant. So, most likely, makikita natin yung mga arc design sa Greece, diba? So, kung makikita natin ito sa picture, so, puro mga arc construction plan talaga yung inadapt nila. So, ano daw yung mga advantages kapag ganitong klaseng design yung kinuha natin? So, each room has a view. Yan, may sariling view ang bawat room kapag arc design ang pipiliin. The wedge shape of the guest room permits each to have an usually large bath and dressing area. So, kung makikita nyo dito sa second picture, napakalaki ng room. At the same time, may kakaiba talagang design. Kasi meron din silang large bath area or parang may mini pool pa nga inside the room. So, the control core containing elevators, linen room, utilities, and ice cube machines facilitates economies in construction and operations. So, tandaan lang natin sa arc design, these are the very cost-effective and low-cost pagdating sa tinatawag natin na HVAC o yung heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Okay. Next slide. We have the cylinder-like structure. So, when we say cylinder-like structure, it is a design of a hotel building which has a distinctive appearance and has the following advantages. So, si cylinder structure, usually ginagamit siya ng mga architects to have the so-called curvier aesthetic. Ibig sabihin, may kakaiba siyang ganda. May kakaibang, let's say, may kakaibang look yung isang hotel. Kasi as you can see in the picture, ayan, so, para siyang isang malaking tube na tinatawag. Kaya lang yung tube na yon, isa siyang building, isa siyang hotel, or any other kind of establishments. So, si cylinder structure, it is a tube shape of a cylinder that has an interesting contrast. Okay? Meron siyang kakaiba talagang itsura. And usually, ang materials na mga ginamit talaga dito is eco-friendly din siya. At the same time, sabi dito, minimum resistance to wind. Okay, ayan yung ilan sa kanyang mga advantages. Lower construction and operating costs. At the same time, katulad ng arc design, meron ding sariling view or outer side view yung mga guests. And of course, kapag sinabing cylinder, dahil para siyang isang tube, pwede kang mag-create or pwede kang maglagay talaga ng tinatawag na revolving restaurant or lounge. Ibig sabihin, bawat rooms or even the restaurant, meron siyang outside view. So, of course, it can either be pool view, it can either be city view. Okay? So, depende sa mismong design. So, next one is the curtain wall. So, curtain wall in this system, the exterior wall of each floor is hung on the iron or steel frame so that the wall supports only its own weight and not the floor above. This method of construction reduces the overall weight of the building, which allows it to be built higher and permits the extensive use of glass on the facade. So, ito yung tinatawag natin na curtain wall. Ayan. So, yung mga nakikita nyo na yan. So, this is not usually heavyweight. So, kaya nga sinabi dito, lightweight lang siya para nang sa ganun, we can further extend, we can further develop the building. Pwede mo pa siyang taasan. Kasi wala tayong masyadong mga heavy materials na ginamit. And then, extensive use of glass on the facade. Nowadays, madami na rin talagang mga establishments or mga buildings or even hotels na talagang ginagamit nila yung mga glass, mga salamin. Ang lalaki ng kanilang mga windows na built from a glass. Ayan. So, next one is we have the materials generally used for building construction. So, ito naman na yung ilan sa mga popular and common materials na ginagamit natin para tayo is makapagtayo ng isang building. So, availability of raw materials and other inputs is essential for the successful implementation of the project. So, ibig sabihin, hindi naman tayo magke-create or hindi naman tayo magtatayo ng isang building kung kulang tayo sa mga raw materials. So, sabi nga dito, the availability of inputs of the right quantity and the right quantity on a regular and continuous basis is essential for the continuity of operations. So, ibig sabihin, ayaw naman natin na sumobra tayo sa budget natin or mag-over tayo sa budget. Kaya nga, di ba, kapag nagpagawa ka ng isang building, nagpagawa ka ng isang bahay, usually may mga estimation na tinatawag. Ini-estimate mo na talaga kung magkano yung magagastos sa mga materials, magkano yung magagastos sa labor, at kung may mga other expenses pa. So, we have first here the brick. Ayan, so kung nakikita nyo yung picture, eto si brick. Katulad ng na-mention natin kanina. So, si brick may be defined as a block of clay or other ceramic used for construction and decorative facing. This costs relatively little, resists dampness and heat, and can last longer than a stone. So, si brick, ginagamit siya usually sa mga construction walls, sa mga floor, sa mga arches, and of course, sa pagtatayo ng bahay. So, ginagamit din si bricks. Next one is the concrete. So, concrete is the most widely used construction material in the world. So, isa rin siya sa mga talagang ginagamit when it comes to construction. Concrete is the only major building material that can be delivered to the job site in a plastic state. This unique quality makes concrete desirable as a building material because it can be molded to virtually any form or shape. So, si concrete naman, it is used extensively sa paggawa ng mga buildings, sa paggawa ng mga tulay or bridges, sa kalsada, at sa paggawa ng mga dam. So, dun madalas gamitin si concrete. Next one is the polymer concrete. So, another composite material used in architectural elements. Is polymer concrete a formulation of thermoset, resins, and aggregate that stimulates of stone. So, si polymer concrete, ito, yan, yung nakikita nyo na yan. Madalas siyang gamitin sa mga paggawa ng bathtubs, okay, sa mga boats, sa mga aircraft, and even sa mga roof. Okay? So, it is only a lightweight object. Next one is steel. So, introduction of steel for construction purposes was done by the Americans. Steel not only acts as a frame but also provide tensile strength to the building. So, isa rin siya sa mga talagang matibay na materials na ginagamit sa building. It doesn't rot and can be easily molded. So, hindi siya basta-basta kinakalawang, nasisira, At sabi nga natin dyan sa picture, kung nakikita nyo, so lahat sila pwedeng ma-mold into the desired shape na gusto ng mismong gagawa. And of course, lastly, yung tinatawag na glass is widely used for construction purposes nowadays. Frames can be of wood or steel support them. So pwedeng kasama ng mismong glass is yung wood at saka yung steel. It is common to see buildings which are made entirely of glass from all sides. This has become possible due to the production of more durable glasses. Even sa mga staircase, sa hagdan, diba kung makikita nyo sa mga itsura ng mga artista, ang talagang gamit na nila ngayon is yung mga glass, mga salamin na. Okay? So, meron kasi siyang ibang dating din ibang aesthetic appeal when it comes sa design ng isang bahay, lalo na sa design ng isang hotel. And the last one is the fiberglass. So, fiberglass for specialty applications, fiberglass decorative architectural elements are fast becoming the first choice among building owners and architects. So, ito namang mga fiberglass, sikat din siya usually kapag sa mga waiting shed minsan, sa labas ng hotel. So, para hindi maulanan yung mismong mga guests, so pwedeng ilagay talaga tong fiberglass. So, medyo may kamahalan nga lang din siya, but rest assured kung meron tayong proper maintenance, diba? Kung napapangalagaan mabuti lahat ng mga equipments, mga materials, yung mga nilagay mismo inside the building and outside the building, so talaga namang magiging maayos yung isang building or yung isang establishments. Okay, so that concludes our Module 2.1, Planning and Designing Workstations and Lodging Establishment. But most likely, binigyan talaga natin dito ng emphasis yung tinatawag natin na hotel design. So I hope you learned something about our Module 2.1. If ever you missed some points in the lesson video, feel free to replay or even download our lesson video in YouTube. So thank you so much for listening in our lesson for today, and I hope to see you in our Zoom class. Thank you and keep safe.